What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Charlotte Hornets and their player-only meeting. There really isn't much to talk about. Right now, they're down 15 to the New Orleans Pelicans in the fourth quarter. I think it's like 101-86 or something like that. I figured right now would be a good time to record this video. One, because life has just been crazy and staying up late is something I do, but recording and all that, I just don't do that anymore. And so I need to find more times to record. Why not now? Because the Hornets are getting blown out all the time. And then on top of that, it's just easier to kind of do it around like 9 o'clock-ish instead of waiting until all the games are over and doing it at 11 and trying to, no, I'll just go ahead and do it now. But anyway, you're not here for all that. The Charlotte Hornets a couple of days ago had a player-only meeting, and it just did not seem like it went well because a lot of the defense is still lazy. A lot of the defense is still uninspired. They look really good on offense, but I'm pretty sure I speak for every Charlotte Hornets fan, no matter how you feel about the org, the players, or what. Pretty sure I can speak for everybody that the team looks better offensively when LaMelo Ball is on the floor. I'm not concerned about that when we have LaMelo Ball. Even when he was out and Terry Rozier was around and Terry was kind of doing Terry things, I really wasn't completely concerned with the offense just because of the fact that I felt as though the offense, yes, there are times, especially without LaMelo, it just does not function. However, we have guys who can get hot, and I feel like if you have guys that can get hot, at least where we're trying to go, that can get you somewhere. You know what I mean? We do need someone to obviously run the offense. That's why we've been screaming for a backup point guard. While Terry is still not a backup point guard, in my opinion, he has gotten better, but it's still not quite where we want to be, especially considering some of the guys who we have go on and off. They're cold and hot throughout the season, really throughout their time in Charlotte. So offense has not really been a big issue to me, even though at times our offense is very stagnant. Defense is what I've been really had a problem with because no matter if LaMelo Ball's healthy, injured, doesn't matter who's on the floor, the defense looks the same. We have slow rotations. We don't deny guys the ball. We are late to close out. It's just a bunch of things that it's just very, very simple defense. And I have no idea what the case is. Like I remember there was this one play where like off a rebound, Nick Richards had to go out and run towards Jordan Hawkins because no one was guarding him. Luckily, Jordan Hawkins missed the shot. But just small things like that, like guys not rotating, guys guarding the same person and not realizing that somebody needs to come off, not realizing their man, yes, he may have fell down over there, or yes, he may be taking a second to come down the court, but no one's like, oh, let me get off this person. We're doubling them. Let me get off this person and pick up this person up the court, but they don't do that. It's just a lot of things that is very simple to fix on defense. Ball watching is another one. Like, for example, I remember there was a play, I think it was might have been the first quarter, I don't know. But there was a play where I forgot who drove, but then Dyson Daniels was open in the corner, and Ish Smith was too busy watching the ball instead of guarding Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels is not, I was going to say Klay Thompson, maybe that's not a good example right now. Dyson Daniels is not just this knockdown corner three-point shooter. However, I would not leave him wide open in the corner, especially if you're Ish Smith, because he already has the height advantage over you, weight, strength, all of that. It just doesn't make any sense. Why are you watching the ball? On top of that, if you're Ish Smith, what are you going to do? Yes, you could put a body in the way. Yes, that will maybe allow whoever is cutting, whoever is driving down to maybe miss a shot. But in the reality of things, like how much of that should be catered or should be credited to you, leaving Dyson Daniels open in the corner? Not really much, even if he did miss the shot. So just sit in the corner and guard your person. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that's with this team is that I can't tell if it's because we're so bad defensively that everybody is getting past, like anybody on the other team is getting by whoever's guarding them on our team, and then it's causing people to have to rotate down to help, or we just don't have the defensive awareness to be like, okay, well, you know what? I'd rather him take this tough two in the paint instead of trying to kick it out to my person to score the three. I don't really know what it is because it really doesn't matter who's on the floor. That same play happens. You can kill the Hornets by 5 out, and you can kill us by just having someone that has the ability to collapse the paint. If you have those two things, you will destroy the Hornets. It doesn't take much. P.J. Washington was really struggling with Brandon Ingram, and that really upset me early on because There's a lot of times where PJ's guarded by PJ is guarding someone much bigger than him, and there are a lot of times he's guarding someone much smaller than him, or even maybe not smaller, but just shiftier, just more of like a 3-2-3 type of player, or a big wing in general. And I can see that where it could be a little difficult. PJ's in a weird position because he's not quite a four. He's like strictly a four. He's not quite a five, but then he has some resemblance of a three. It's just really weird. But Brandon Ingram is like in the middle of that. He is like, as far as build, he's the offensive version of PJ, if that makes any sense. He's built very similar to PJ. Yes, he's taller. Yes, he's a better player. I'm not saying like they're the same. I'm just saying that if there's a type of player, if there's a mold of player PJ should be able to guard, it should be Brandon Ingram. And he really, really struggled just on simple stuff. It wasn't like Brandon Ingram was flying by him. It wasn't like it was just Brandon Ingram was able to have his way with PJ, and PJ just didn't know what to do. These are the type of things where it just makes me feel like I have no idea what the team was talking about during their time at that players meeting. I made a joke. Remember the Kansas State coach that was doing the clapping waist thing, man? I made a joke on Twitter saying that's what they were doing in their players meeting because that's what it comes off as. Nothing in this game made it seem like they had a players only meeting, or at least that it was successful. I don't know if it was, hey guys, we're calling it a season. I hate the coach. Well, I don't know what it was. I have no idea what they talked about, but I can promise you they didn't talk about basketball because of the fact that just what I'm seeing. I'm not trying to be overly critical of these guys because I feel as though I cover the team because it's fun. I cover the team because that's my team. I cover the team because I care about them. So nothing I'm saying is a detriment. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be detrimental to them or their career or just hurt anybody. None of that. I just want to see a good product on the floor, and I know these guys can do it because they're all talented. It's not like these guys were scrubs. Okay, some of them may have been, but it's not like they're just pulling people off the street. These guys were coveted in their high school days, college days, whatever the case may be. Some have grown into a player that no one ever expected, such as Miles Bridges. LaMelo Ball is like almost going beyond expectation. I think we saw this from LaMelo Ball, but to see it this early, considering the circumstances that this team has had, I don't think we thought he would be at this level so soon, especially like I said with everything going on. And so it's just like, where is it not clicking? Where is it not clicking? I know injuries have played a big part, but no matter the lineup we have, it's the same issues. I expect different issues for different lineups. There should be some lineups that aren't good at this and some lineups that aren't good at that. That would make sense. We're not good at anything, no matter what lineup people put out there, especially defensively. Yes, I understand that we've had injuries, but Steve Clifford's supposed to be a defensive coach. Our defense has not gotten any better. Last year, our defense was great, and I thought, okay, we apply this to next season, we're going to be amazing. As far, in Hornets standard, which is like 6th seed. It didn't happen. Yes, injuries happened early, Miles Bridges suspension, all these things, but it just still wasn't the same. We didn't have the point of attack, the defender that we had in Nick Smith Jr., not Nick Smith Jr., I'm sorry, Dennis Smith Jr., Kelly Oubre, who, while he's not the world's best defender, there was times where he would lock in and he would just be a nuisance. We don't really have that. Cody Martin, I think, is okay, but it's just not quite where you would want him to be. Yes, he's coming off injury, but it's just so much defensively that I really, that really bothers me for this team. I don't know if I've ever said it on here, or if you follow me on Twitter, you might know. But I love defense. I love in any sport. Basically, in football, basketball, but it doesn't matter. I'm just a defensive-minded person. I've always saw that in myself when I played sports. Not saying that I should be on the NBA floor, but I'm just saying that's the part I love in the game, and it's just frustrating that the team you love the most doesn't really respect that side of the ball. And it's simple stuff. It's nothing that's concrete. I know that I talk about the switches that we do and the blitzes that we do on defense and how those aren't the best. And they're not. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say they are. But my point is, even though it's not the best, there's a lot of things that, as far as just standing in front of the guy, that we don't do, that the team just does not do. We get lost. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating to watch, and especially consider you're hearing that the team had a players only meeting. What happened? What happened? Because we looked the same. Yeah, I think we were maybe a little more aggressive on the offensive end. We looked slightly better, but overall, I mean, it didn't change anything. And no, I didn't even expect to win tonight. I just expected to lose in a different way. I feel like as though maybe not all Hornets fans, but at least me. I'm at the point where I don't expect this team to just go win games. That's not what I'm asking. just win or lose in different ways. We lose the same way every time, and I think that's what makes it more infuriating. It's very rare that the other team is just that much better. It's more so we allow them to kind of get hot. We allow them to be open. We give them just easy opportunities, and they take advantage of it. Very few times have I seen a team just beat us. Not saying that we're on par with all these other teams. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that teams really don't have to try. We give them what they need, and they can kind of cruise and still beat us. It hasn't been often where a team has to like switch up their game plan and mess with the rotations a little bit and rely on a guy going. No, it's very simple. They just show up and run some pick and roll, and then we're done. It's over with. So I don't know. I would like to see more from this team. It's very frustrating because, like I said, players only meeting. It's frustrating for trades, which we'll have a video talking about that, but it's very frustrating for trades because who do we trade? Where do we trade them to? Are we even going to make a trade? Because most situations does not call for a trade. Most of the time, a team is in a situation we're in does not call for a trade, and by a situation we're in means coaches on an expiring deal, GMs on an expiring deal, new owner. A lot of that stuff this season was supposed to be a stand pat season. However, I'm not over exaggerating. This might be the worst time to be going through that because we absolutely need a move. Could it wait till this summer? Maybe. I mean, a lot of this is banking on Terry Rozier and how teams are going to value him coming in this offseason. Same with PJ Washington. He's playing some of his worst basketball in his career, statistically speaking, and just kind of from the eye test. Gordon Hayward more likely to get bought out. I'm assuming if other NBA teams are assuming he's going to get bought out, I'm just going to say he's going to get bought out. Him being bought out doesn't quite make that much sense. Might as well just keep him throughout the season. However, it is what it is. I'm not really too concerned about that. How are you going to do all this in one offseason? I feel like is my question. With a new GM, new coach, a lot of new just staff in general. How are you going to change all this in one season? And it has to be one or the other. I don't know if you can completely revamp a coaching staff, completely revamp a front office, and completely revamp a roster all in one offseason. You're going to have to pick and choose. You're going to have to cut corners because the one offseason is not a lot of time. How do you do it? I would love to see it. I would love to see how it's done. It makes me worry about what next season is going to look like because based on where we're at right now, we're going to be kind of back in the same situation next year. Maybe not as bad, but not in the playoffs. And that's just the truth. That has no, Miles could get better. We could keep Miles. He gets better. Obviously keep LaMelo. He gets better. Mark Williams is healthy and good. Brandon Miller is healthy and good. That doesn't automatically, in my eyes, make us, ready for the playoff picture. Just because of the fact that we see how this team operates when they're together. You put them in a vacuum, each individual player, it's just like there's no way. They play good basketball. And then you put them all together and then everything falls apart. So there's lots of things that needs to be changed. I don't know where you start. I don't know what receives the most attention because it all needs a lot of attention. I guess you just put a fun team out. I just don't see how we automatically go from where we are now to being a good team next year. I don't see it yet. It's very possible. I mean, we're probably going to have a high draft pick. It's probably going to be a coveted pick, even though people are saying this draft class isn't that good. And I kind of agree with that, but I don't know. I would love to see where we go as a team because I don't see it right now. I don't see how we go from where we are now to another, because it's not as simple as addition by subtraction. It's not. It's really not. There's a lot of other issues that are going on as well. Even if we have a new coach, I'm not going to put it on him to automatically make us a good team. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a project, whether we like it or not. The problem are the owners going to see it as a project, or they're going to be like, oh, we'll completely revamp this roster somehow and then throw it out there and then expect it? No, I think it has to be a project, and I don't think we need to rebuild on the fly. I think we need to do a serious rebuild. And it's stupid, yes, because we just signed LaMelo. LaMelo doesn't need to go through a rebuild. He's too good to be doing that right now. But if he wants to win, that just might be what we have to do unless he asks for a trade. And you don't want to do a real rebuild because I wouldn't blame LaMelo if he puts together a good statistical all-star season next year with subpar components around him and then asks for a trade or makes the front office feel uneasy. Wouldn't blame him not one bit. So it's just a weird thing to think about. But let me know what your thoughts are. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying we can't improve. I'm just saying I really don't know what the trail is for us to be a better team. And considering we had that players only meeting a couple days ago, and then this is the product we get, it's like I also don't know if we can just afford to wait into the offseason. I think something needs to be done now. But it also doesn't make sense. I mean, you could look through NBA history. It's very few times where a team goes through a change like this and then just blows it all up during the season. Because how are you going to find a new GM in the season? You're not. It's not going to be easy. We're too close to the deadline. So there's just a lot of things. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. I think that maybe I can record more videos like this. This video obviously won't come out to the day after the game because I'm not staying up to edit it. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.